Hi guys, and welcome to the Ace Tanker for the Skoda T40, the Tier 6 Premium Medium Czechoslovakian tank. It's the first Czech tank in the game. It was made available today on the EU server. It's going to be available for over a month, and it's not very good, guys. It really isn't very good, but this is my first Ace Tanker in the tank. Now, normally I would talk a little bit more about the tank, but I've been playing the tank quite a bit today, and I don't like it very much, and I had planned to do another Is It Worth It for tomorrow, for another tank, but I've almost got enough footage for an Is It Worth It for this. So, you know what, I'm just going to do an Is It Worth It for the Skoda T40 on the channel tomorrow. And I'm going to explain why this is an absolutely terrible tank, and you should probably avoid buying it for whatever reason. It's such a bad tank. It's got so many problems. The gun handling is bad, the tank handling is bad. And just remember, this is the Ace Tanker, so it's going to look better than it is in this game, but it really is a terrible tank. It's just got... the problems are too many to name. Poor hit points, poor gun handling, poor maneuverability. I mean, the speed is okay, but zero armor, and it's just... such a bad tank. But anyway, we are here on Siegfried Line. As I say, this is my first ace in the tank. It's a Tier 7 game, so it's not a bad matchup for the tank. And just remember, this thing doesn't get special matchmaking, so it will see Tier 8s. And against Tier 8s, it's a pretty poor tank. You've got a gun that has okay penetration, 132. Not the best, but it's okay. It's got terrible armor, and that is a rare bounce. But as you can see, I'm taking on another Skoda, and I'm just going straight through his turret. He was able to pen me that time. As I say, lucky bounce. Tanks coming around, try and track the SU-152. The premium ammo is quite good. Premium ammo, if you're going to fire gold in this tank, it can be a good gun. I'm trying to get the gun stats up here. Very lucky to bounce a shot or tracks absorb the shot, and there you go. Managed to track the Tiger for 0 damage. The penetration sometimes against higher tier tanks, very poor. Once again, failed to pen the Tiger. But as I say, for some reason the premium ammo is not... Oh, there it is. 200 penetration, 220 damage. So the heat premium ammo is actually okay on the tank, considering it's a Tier 6. But the shell velocity is also quite poor. The aim time is poor. And as you can see, I'm down to 283 hit points. I've only taken 2 hits, and I'm down to 283 hit points. So, for some absolutely unknown, inexplicable reason, this tank has absolutely no hit points. I mean, the Fury has more hit points than this. The Rudy has more hit points than this. The Cromwell B has more hit points than this. And the reason I'm annoyed about the hit points... Oh yeah, and it's got really bad gun depression. It's got really bad gun depression too. The gun handling is terrible. Can't get my gun down to get the SU, but... Yeah, it's basically the amount of times you get 2 hit killed in this tank by guns firing 122mm. And you're going to be facing a lot of tanks with 122mm because it doesn't get special matchmaking. So no special matchmaking, 700 hit points, and the armor is absolutely garbage. The armor is worse than it is on most Japanese tanks. So really, there's very little to like about this tank, and its survivability is incredibly low. Its matchmaking is incredibly poor, so it's got no armor and no hit points. It's also a huge tank. It's bigger than most heavy tanks, so yeah, I'm going to be talking and I'm probably going to be complaining a lot about this tank in the next video, as I say, which is going to be the Is It Worth It for the Skoda T40. It's just a big disappointment, and the thing is, I love the T25. I think the T25 is one of the best Tier 5 premium tanks in the game, and it's a Czechoslovakian tank. T15, not a bad scout, it's a Czechoslovakian tank. But this tank, yeah, I was expecting so much better, and it's a huge disappointment. Absolutely no reason to buy this tank. You can play it like a medium, but usually it's not good to, because As I say, it's got no survivability. You can't even, with the low hit point pool and no armor, as I say, it's got worse armor than most Japanese tanks without the benefit of gun depression. It's got a worse gun than most Japanese tanks. Yeah, so you can't even take on medium tanks, you know, 1-to-1. This is kind of a flanker. You gotta wait for enemy tanks to engage other tanks so they're not shooting you. Yeah, it was a very quick game. I'm on 1600 damage I'm aware of, just 2 KV-1s left. And they haven't been seen for a long time, not since they were in B0. So this is an encounter game. These guys spawned in the north, and what's happened is they've traveled all the way down the 0 line, all the way across the K line, and they're hunting RT. So not the strongest KV-1 platoon, but you can see we're doing 50 kilometers an hour along here. So the tank is fast enough for a medium, but it's a big target, and you know, I mean, the most armor this tank has is 60 millimeters. The aim time, look at this aim time. And yeah, at distance the accuracy is not great either. Yeah, it's just the gun underwhelming, the tank just not very good. I mean, there's so little to recommend about this tank. You know, usually when I talk about tanks I talk about the strengths and weaknesses. The strength of this tank is view range. It's got 370 meters of view range. That was a shot on the move, and that's rare because this tank is terrible at shooting on the move. So we're doing some damage, and look, the gun doesn't look too bad, but look at this, look at this, look at this. Bounce for hit the side of the turret, he goes down, and he dies before it can kill him. But yeah, gun handling, not good. Tank handling, not good. And as I say, the strengths, it's got 370 meters of view range, which is okay. It's not brilliant, but believe it or not, that's one of the strengths. Oh, and it's got amazing signal range. It's got amazing signal range. So that's I suppose technically is a strength, but yeah, I'm not going to be very complimentary to this tank, guys, and if you're looking at the Skoda T40 and you're thinking about picking it up today, please wait. I'm going to give it a full review and I'm going to tell you why it sucks tomorrow. So yeah, first ace in the tank, and it was a decent matchup. As I said, it was a tier 7 game, and usually most of the games I've been playing, I've been getting into tier 8 games in the Skoda T40, which is an absolute joke. We picked up a Confederate, we also picked up high caliber, finished top on XP with 1240, did 2,288 damage, and just the 2 kills. So a lot of people have been seeing a lot of Skoda T40s on the servers today. Maybe it's a lot of Czech players buying them and playing them, but it's not a good tank, guys. 18 shots fired, 14 hits, 11 penetrations. That was a good performance for the gun, believe it or not. We did 1,232 assistance damage in addition to our damage. Enough for the ace. We spotted 1, damaged 8, destroyed 2, and oh, well, I suppose another positive for the tank is it's a decent money maker. I mean, I fired 18 shots, and you can see that the ammo costs only came to 3,600, so the shell cost is actually okay. So if you can do damage and if you can have good games in this tank, it is going to earn you money, quite good money for a tier 6. But on the other hand, it is quite difficult to have good games in this tank because you cannot play this tank aggressively unless you've got a lot of support around you. You can, if you play it defensively, then yeah, I'll talk more about it tomorrow. 1860 XP overall, with the bonus thrown in, left me on 2,418. Thanks for watching, and I will be doing a full Is It Worth It review for the Skoda T40. It should be on the channel tomorrow, touch wood, and I have time to sit down and do it. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.